So an imagination of what may be possible is an ecotone because it's contained by the reality we know, but not limited by it. So what I mean by that is, and this is something Walida E. Marisha and Adrienne Mary Brown wrote years ago, that social justice organizing is science fiction because we haven't actually lived into a world where these issues have been dealt with. And some of the best science fiction writing, Octavia Butler and Ursula K. Le Guin in particular come to mind, are examples of someone looking at something that they see and then imagining it out into the future. Another book that I could put on the resource list by Ursula K. Le Guin is The Dispossessed. If you haven't read it, it's really phenomenal, where she explores fundamentalism in both capitalism and anarchy. It's a really great book, but it's taking this idea, there's something that exists, and then extrapolating it. So what does it mean to do that? Dystopian sci-fi typically does that in a way where it's just like things are going to get worse. What does it mean to do that in a hopeful and generative way where like things could get better, but we can't, like, this is where we have to watch out that we're not doing like, the love and light vibe, but rather containing the reality we know, but not being limited by it. The reality we know, so far, humans don't have a really solid track record of actually caring about people that they don't know or can't see, don't touch. We saw that through the treatment of, like how people have reacted to COVID-19. We've definitely seen that governments don't seem to have our best interest at heart. So if we were imagining a future where all of a sudden that's just not a problem, now we're not actually in reality, right? Because we're not contained by the reality that we know and have seen. But to just assume that that's what always is going to happen limits us to essentially having to go down that dystopian route. So what would it mean to imagine a world where awe, curiosity, care comes back into the center of our lives? It becomes the organizing principle. It becomes the nucleus that has a gravitational pull on all of us. And what would that future look like? That is what I mean when I say that an imagination of what might be possible is an ecotone, because we are exploring what is possible without being limited by what we know to be true now, but we're not just allowing ourselves into those wild lands of imagination, as fun as they can be, by pretending like all these issues don't exist. Like, oh yeah, climate change will just magically be fixed tomorrow, and so we don't have to really contend with that. Or like if you notice that a lot of, like I've been noticing that books that have come out since 2020 are pretending like they didn't so that they don't have to engage with COVID within the storyline. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like engaging with what is present, what is really happening, but not being limited by it.